Hello, y'all. Welcome to my live today. Welcome to Rise and Shine with Lacey Jeter. So, this live is going to be a little bit different than, some of my other lives I usually do in the morning. So, y'all know I talk about various things on this page. Y'all know I talk about news. You guys know I talk about music, pop culture, relatable topics, Black history, um, just lifestyle, dating. So I talk about all of that. So today, I just wanted to talk about something when it came to Black women, right? I'm noticing in today's society, right? There's an issue with Black women just not being left alone. Is it just me, y'all? Black women have not been left alone ever since, I don't know, the election and everything. Black women have not been left alone. And actually, speaking like historically in societal terms, Black women have never really been left alone. People have always came to us to try and fight their battles for them. Right. And so I'm going to be talking about that today. I'm going to be sharing some clips today. Just talking about sharing some TikToks or whatever, people talking about this. But as y'all know, right, lately, there has been a lot of people wanting to come into the Black community, or some people wanting to come into the Black community, come into our sacred Black spaces, right? And make a statement and disturb the peace, right? And us as Black people, we have our sacred spaces, and like I said, I'm not for 100% separation with people, right? Like with different races, I'm not for necessarily full on separation, but we do have our culture and the things that we keep to ourselves, and that sometimes people will not give us our space, right? And even just in society in general, Black women have these very high expectations projected onto them to have to do better than everybody else, be the strong Black woman, be superwoman for everybody. Black women have this expectation put on them where they feel like they have to be better than the next woman or better than the next person. For a Black woman to really get her flowers, she has to be doing above and beyond better than everybody else, right? That's just how it's always been. If this is like the workplace, if this is in dating, if this is with mainstream beauty standards, all these things, it's just there's an expectation that is constantly put on Black women where we have to do so much better for us to even get attention, for us to even be acknowledged, right? And when we aren't doing above and beyond, and when we're acting like everybody else, we're natural, we're kind of just doing our thing, people tend to not want to leave us alone, right? People are always wanting to criticize Black women, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that. When a Black woman does well, also there tends to be a lot of jealousy and a lot of competition towards her, right? People tend to get very upset, right? And a Black woman, honestly, in the workplace could just be minding her business. And if she's doing really well, she forms a lot of enemies. She could be very polite, she could be nice, kind, smart, have a hard work ethic, and she doesn't get her flowers just because she's a Black woman. And like a lot of women want to come for her, or they just want to find a way to dim her light or to keep her from moving up in the workplace. So that's also something that's very common with Black women. And also within dating, Black women get a lot of just heat, right? There's this sadness within the dating world with Black women. And the thing is, there are so many beautiful, talented, there's so many kind, very just awesome Black women out here who have themselves together. But a lot of them are having a hard time finding a partner. This is a collective issue because I think of, the stereotypes of Black women and mainstream beauty standards. And then with colorism, that's a really big thing within our community. So Black women tend to just face all of these hardships and all of this hatred from different sides, right? You can have a Black woman, she's trying to date Black men. The Black men aren't treating her respectfully, right? In the past, for me specifically, with Black men, I love Black men. I think I told y'all in my other lives, I don't necessarily have a racial preference. I love Black men. I've dated and I've talked to different types of Black men. I've had crushes on different types of Black men. I also love dating interracially as well. I'm open to it. I find white men attractive. I find Latino men, Hispanic men attractive. I find Indian men attractive, Asian men attractive. I don't necessarily have a racial preference, right? And so I feel like Black women in general kind of get heat when it comes to dating within their race group as well as dating interracially. There's hardships that come with dating both sides, right? And I was actually thinking about doing a live talking about interracial relationships versus Black relationships. Just kind of like talking about my experience as a Black woman dating Black men as well as dating outside of my race, and just talking about the pros and cons and the things I've experienced. I was thinking about actually doing a live on that. Y'all can let me know if you want me to do that live. I can totally do it. But I feel like I've experienced hardships both sides, right? Because sometimes when Black women date interracially, they get a lot of heat from Black men. So sometimes Black men can be kind of hateful towards Black women when they see them dating white men or other races of men. They can be a little bit judgmental and possessive. Um, and then also you have a lot of Black men and a lot of people who try and say like, guys outside Black community are not interested in Black women. That's absolutely a lie. It's a lie. Um, it completely. They like to tell Black women certain things because they don't want to see us win. Sadly, there's a lot of people who are actually very jealous of Black women. They don't want to see us do well. They don't want to see us happy. They don't want to see us rested. They don't want to see us being taken care of, right? Um, and then also sometimes with women outside of Black community, they will get very jealous of Black women when they date interracially, right? They will have like this animosity. They're just very hateful. Even if you're looking at Alondria and Nick from Love Island, which I feel like they do get a lot of love for the most part, but there's also a group of people who absolutely cannot stand Alondria. Right? They absolutely cannot stand Alandria. Like they will talk, like I've noticed on Facebook, some of the comments, specifically, I see a lot from middle-aged white women, um, a lot of negative comments, like a lot of just really negative comments, people saying the relationship is forced. I mean, we don't know if the relationship is forced or not, right? But why is it that when a Black woman is with a white man or dating a white man, people are automatically assuming she's with him because of money, or that the relationship is fake, or that he has some fetish or something? It's kind of weird. Like people cannot wrap their head around the fact that a man could be in love with a Black woman when it's outside of their race group, right? Some people cannot fathom that. Like they just like for example, you have these guys that are just really conventionally hot, right? I can even tell you from my experience, like I said, I knew specific guys were interested in me. I 100% knew it. Outside of my race, and no, I was not a size 2. Just lots of flirting. Like I said, I told y'all specifically when it came to like the gyms and stuff. I've had a lot of white men. Every time I go to the gym, I always have white men who are so interested in me, always flirting with me. I'm very shy, but I will have like a lot of just white guys flirting with me every time I go to the gym, right? And so I've had guys who have been like very fit, very good looking, been like flirted with me, like just very interested, right? And there are some women outside Black community who just they could not stand that. Like they just couldn't fathom it. Like it just pissed them off so much. And this might not be every Black woman's experience. And this is not me saying that all women outside the Black community have a problem with interracial relationships, because you do also have some women outside the Black community who actually are very supportive of Black women dating interracially. But you will notice, if you do get in an interracial relationship, Sometimes you will have very competitive women, very mean-spirited, jealous women who cannot fathom the fact that their men could possibly be interested in a black woman. It's just weird. It's just weird. And then specifically with dating black men, one issue I have with dating black men is the colorism. It's the colorism 100%. Like the negative comments, like even you could even be a token black woman within a black man's roster, right? Which is crazy. Like a black man who's like, I don't really date black women like that. I don't date dark skin, brown skin women like that, but you're so fine. Like it's so disrespectful, right? And it's like y'all don't do that with other races, right? Y'all don't do that with other races. You don't hear, let's actually turn the table a little bit, right? Let's turn the table a little bit. What if you don't hear, like, what if you had a white man who is, dating a black woman, right? And you don't hear white men who date black women a lot of the time being like, oh, I'm going to date a white woman, be like, I don't normally date white women, but you're just such a, you don't hear white men saying that, right? You just don't. It's just kind of weird. Like, you have white men who have preferences towards black women, but you don't really hear them being hateful towards their own women, right? I feel like black men are the only group of men who will date interracially because they hate their own women, right? I understand love has no color, right? But there's this one thing Dr. Umar said. He said, I want to show the clip, y'all, but if I can find it. But Dr. Umar said it's not a coincidence that black men are the highest, are like the one of the highest groups of men who date interracially, right? And that they call it so-called love, but a lot of the time it's not really always about love. That makes any sense? Like I said, there are black men who do date interracially, who do love the women they're with, right? They exist, not saying all of them are like that. But there is a large group of them who date interracially for the wrong reasons, right? And can we talk about also fetishization with black men? Like, people like to talk about fetishization within interracial relationships, which I think that's a really important conversation to have. But there's also fetishization when it comes to black women as well with black men. Black men fetishize black women all the time. Like, can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Right? There's black men, they fetishize black women all the time. All the time, right? People are very quick to talk about fetishization with interracial relationships, which I think is valid. But can we acknowledge all of it, though? Because there's some black men who fetishize black women. They're very objectifying towards black women. Like, I can tell y'all, I had some situations in the workplace. Like, this was like a little side job I had. I've gone through sexual harassment actually quite a few times for like small side jobs when I was like working in like small food service jobs or whatever. I experienced fetishization from black men specifically. And then also I've experienced sexual harassment. So with also men outside of my race as well. Being a woman, period, you're just gonna have to deal with sexual harassment. You're gonna have to deal with people being like objectifying towards you as a woman, men who are gonna try and catcall you. That's just what happens in life, right? You have to grow a thick skin to it. I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong. I think it's disgusting because we need to see people as individuals and we need to respect women. But there's a large group of men also who are not respectful towards black women, very hateful, say very disrespectful things. And this is men within our race. This is men within our communities, right? Men who, they don't want to take care of their kids. They don't want to be in their kids' lives. They will, you know, sleep with all these women, but they're not actually taking care of the women as well as taking care of the kids. They're not being responsible. That's a huge problem as well. And this is not all black men, because my father has always been a good black man. My father had, took care of my mom and dad, my mom and I, as I was about to say, my dad took care of my mom and dad. No, my dad took care of me and my mom and still takes care of us, really. He's always been very respectful. My parents been together for 30, almost 35 years. This year's gonna be in December is gonna be 35 years, right? So I grew up with a very good example of a black man. Unfortunately, there's a lot of black women who don't have that good example. I'm very fortunate and very lucky to be raised in the house that I have been raised in. Um, but so I know how a healthy male figure looks like, right? I know what it means for a man to provide, to protect. I know how it looks like for a man to treat women with respect because I grew up with a father like that, right? Some women have not, unfortunately. But right, because I have that image, I can clock and I can clock people when they're not being respectful. I can call things out for what it is because I have a healthy mindset on relationships, right? Um, but yeah, like I just feel like when it comes to dating black women and that whole subject is just so chaotic. Like I feel like the whole topic of dating as a black woman is so controversial. You don't really see that same type of controversial type of dating experience with other races, right? You don't, right? Most of the time in other races, the men love their women. The men are race loyal for the most part, right? They're never gonna just be like, I'm gonna put down my women, and it's normal. I feel like nowadays there is this unspoken, very normal outlook on, oh, we're gonna make hatred and we're gonna make disrespect towards black women the new normal. It's like normal. It's like something that is just existing. And it's not okay because black women are human. People dehumanize black women and they disrespect black women, right? And that's something I've noticed. There's like this unnecessary hatred towards black women, and it needs to stop. It's very rude, and I know eventually the tables will turn because God says you reap what you sow. So eventually people are going to reap what they sow. People are going to F around and find out, but that's one thing too. When it comes to racism and colorism, and when it comes to fighting for our rights in this country, when it comes to, we've built this country, right? Whenever other groups of people, other race groups, other ethnic groups want somebody to fight, they want to fight for something, or they have some sort of issue within their communities, they want black people to like be doing the work for them. Right. Specifically the Latino community. Like I said, I'm supportive of my Latino and Latina brothers and sisters. Right. But we have to understand the Latino community has had a lot of color. They have a lot of colorism in their community. And I can make a live about that as well, talking about colorism within the Latino community, the Hispanic community. But that's huge. It's huge in the Dominican Republic. It's huge in like Latin America and on the islands. All this, like, colorism is a big deal, right? They don't treat Afro Latinos equally. There's Afro Latinos get a lot of hate, right? So we have to understand there's a lot of racism rooted within the Latino community, the Latino. So I can probably talk about that. And so they want us to fight for them. They expect us to fight for them, right? Which, this is how I feel. I'll do what I can, but at the same time, I'm not risking my life and getting killed, you know, to be able to do these things, right? Right? I will treat you respectfully, right? But it's like I don't there the people I feel like some race communities just expect us to fight. They expect us to do the work for them. And it's like a lot of the time they created it, right? And black women were the 92%. And if anything goes wrong with this country, if everything goes wrong with this country, it is not because of black women. Black women were the ones who were trying to save y'all. And it's like the very people who be trying to save y'all are the very people y'all love to hate and talk down on. Right? The very people who are down for you, who love you. Even I've noticed in friendships, I'm going to be personal about it. Look, I've had people that I really cared about, people I genuinely wanted to see win, or I genuinely had feelings for, if it wasn't somebody who was my friend, but somebody I genuinely cared about. And it's like the one person who cared about you the most, you're going to betray the most, you're going to talk the most crap about, you're going to hurt the most. It doesn't make any sense. I've had to cut people off. I had to cut friends off because they were treating me unfairly because I was a Black woman. I don't think a lot of people talk about this, but sometimes people treat their Black friends awfully. They don't check up on their Black friends. They don't really want to hang out with their Black friends like that, right? They're passive aggressive towards their Black friends. They constantly are speaking microaggressions, constantly telling them microaggressions. Like, you're tokenizing your Black friends. You put us in a box, and it's not right. That's not cool. It's not cool. Here's the thing, it is a privilege to have somebody in your life who cares about you and who's a ride or die for you. It's a privilege because there's a lot of fake people in this world. There's a whole lot of fake people in this world. They don't care about you. They're not genuine. And one thing I love about Black women, a lot of Black women are very down to earth. A lot of us are real. We're not stuck up. We're not thinking all this and now I'm all this. Black women, a lot of Black women are real as you come. And I think specifically with interracial relationships, that's why I believe that Black women and white men are the longest lasting, statistically the most successful interracial relationship pairing, because Black women, once Black women find that person that really takes care of them, really has their back and really treats them like a queen, they will always be down for you. We're very loyal. When we really love people, we're very loyal. And a lot of people take our loyalty for granted, right? It is a privilege. A privilege for anybody to be able to marry a Black woman, be best friends with a Black woman, have a Black woman in their park, right? On their side. There's actually this one video on TikTok. Y'all probably have seen it because it was very popular. There is this one man outside the Black community. He said that his mom always told him if something was going wrong or if he was in danger, always go seek a Black woman. He said his mom told him if he's ever in danger, there's ever anything going wrong in person, he needs to seek a Black woman. We have been the mammies for decades. The mammies. Taking care, when we were back in slavery, we were taking care of the slave master's children. Doing everything for the slave master's children, dressing the slave master's children, teaching the slave master's children, cooking for the slave master's children. We were doing all of that. And people still have that mammy mindset, that mammy consciousness. They believe that all Black women need to be their mammy, do their dirty work for them. No. And then as soon as y'all see a Black woman evolve and take care of herself and is rested and is relaxed, y'all get mad. Y'all get very mad, and it pisses y'all off because we're no longer kissing your butt anymore. We've been doing this for centuries. We've been kissing people's butts and working for people for hundreds of years. Black women are now taking their power back. And I refuse to be people's mammies. Refuse. That's not my job. I will only cater and take care of people who deserve it, who have worked for my attention. Some people believe that just them existing, people should kiss the ground that they walk on based on how they look, their popularity, or just based on the fact they believe that in some way they are more superior because of racism and colorism. I don't think so. I don't think so. Right? People believe like if they see a Black woman at work, just being normal, not really smiling, not really talking to anybody, they assume she's mean. They assume that there's something wrong with her because she doesn't really talk. Maybe have you ever thought maybe she's just minding her business? Maybe she's just shy. Have you ever thought maybe she has something going on? But y'all love to demonize and villainize Black women. And it's not okay. It's not okay. It's like y'all betray the very women who are down for you, who love y'all, who want to see y'all win. It's crazy. And a lot of y'all will F around and find out. Karma is going to teach y'all a lesson, right? Because I realize we live in a world is very narcissistic, right? It's very, very narcissistic. People are just caring about themselves, and as soon as they have an opportunity to sweep something under the rug and blame it on somebody else or make somebody else a victim in some sort of way, they're going to do it. But guess what? In the eyes of God, God loves humility. God doesn't like that. God does not support that. And then you have these so-called Christian people who are claiming that they love people, but they're doing the exact opposite. Their actions show otherwise. Your actions speak louder than your words do. You can claim you're all, I love people, love thy neighbor, but if you're not acting like it, if you're not treating people with respect, you're not doing that. You're lying. It's a mask. You're using Christianity as a mask for you being a horrible, despicable person. And that's not right. There's something called spiritual bypass, right? People use spirituality and use religion all the time as a way to cover up who they really are and to mask their dysfunction and their toxicity, right? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Black women, a lot of the time, just want to be left alone. They want to be left alone. They don't want nobody bothering. They just want peace. They want to relax. And really, even in relationships, all Black women really want is somebody who respects them, who treats them like a princess, somebody who treats them like a human being, who has empathy, right? Somebody who will just listen instead of being defensive. A lot of time we live in a culture where it's so defensive. We don't want to listen, right? That's the problem. We don't want to listen to other people, right? We don't want to really just hear, right? It's like what people say goes out one ear and then out the next, right? And people love to judge Black women based on what the media shows them. And they like to put Black women in a box saying all Black women are a certain way. That's not true. Not all Black women are a certain way. Just like other races, not all people of other races are the same. Not all white people are the same, right? Not all Latino, Asian, Indian people are the same, right? They're not the same. So why would you assume that all Black people are the same? Right? Because we're all kind of have our own personalities. We kind of all have our own experiences, right? And there's so many different types of Black women. There's all kinds of Black women, all different personalities, different upbringings, different cultures, different nationalities, come from different places. Like, you can't just put all Black women in one box. It doesn't make any logical sense. Right? And everything I'm saying is pretty common sense. It's pretty common sense, right? Like, there's this other video that was on TikTok, right? And there's a video of this man trying to, pretty much talking to a Black woman in a grocery store, and he was complaining about how he doesn't feel Black women smile when he's in the grocery store. It's like, just leave Black women alone. Black women have to deal with so much sexual harassment, and there's a lot of domestic violence and all these things out here. It is scary being a woman. People don't understand that, right? It is scary out here. Some men are dangerous. Some men are crazy. People get R-worded. People get drugged going to the club because they leave their drink somewhere, right? You have people who are racist, who are lynching people who want to kill Black people. It's so dangerous out here, right? It's not easy being a woman, and it's not safe going places like it used to. I was just saying this the other day. There are certain places that I don't feel comfortable going to anymore. right? I'm just like, I used to could easily travel to these places. Like, for example, Greenville, South Carolina. People are gonna laugh about me with this. I went like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. I went on a solo trip and I stayed in Greenville and I had me a good old time. I went to this festival and I stayed by myself and I and it was fun. I like explored the whole city by myself, all this stuff. But but the last time I went to Greenville, I was like, I do not feel comfortable going to Greenville or upstate South Carolina by myself. I don't feel comfortable traveling there by myself. I was like, I'm never coming here by myself ever again, right? Ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like people are just crazy. Like there's some places that I used to travel to all the time. I do not go by myself anymore, right? Because times are different. Times are changing. Right? And I was like, is this place becoming like a sundown town? Like, I mean, that was just what that was based on what I experienced last time I went to Greenville. That's what I experienced. I was like, I can't go by myself. I refuse to go by myself, you know? So it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. But it's like, and then I've noticed sometimes people just want to push black women's buttons. They just want to do certain things. Right? There's this one guy, and there's this one guy, I consider him like a friend, right? I thought he was cute, but he was more of like a friend, if that makes any sense. And all of a sudden he just started acting very odd, just very odd towards me, right? And I would say hi to him or whatever, and he just like started acting funny. I'm just like, what happened? Did somebody tell you something about me? Like, did something happen? It just was very weird to me. And I was like, that's weird. Right? Like, I mean, I don't do nothing to nobody. I try and have good energy. I try and be a good person. I try and just keep to myself like a normal person would, right? And he just started acting very weird. And I've had situations with friends who've act very weird, and I've cut people off because I'm just like, I refuse to have fake friends in my life. I refuse to have people. I want people in my life who genuinely care about me, right? Not I don't want to be somebody's token black friend where they're just using me as a way, to say they have black friends. It's like, no. Like, or just like messaging me randomly when there's a black event. Like, I love all kinds of music. Girl, I love all kinds of music. I love all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you like just very odd behavior. I don't tolerate it. When it comes to any sort of weird behavior, I can't deal with that. I will cut you off if you give me weird behavior. I'll block you because you give me weird behavior. That's just the type of person I am. And I don't want to be like coming off as just like trying to be rude or trying to start something, but I'm just like, I can't. I don't want to entertain people who just want to take advantage of me, right? As a black woman, right? And it's like, this is like, a black woman can also get a raise, and people will do everything to, keep her from getting a raise, or keep her from moving to another department, or keep her from being able to be successful. They will like literally spread lies. They will go to people. They would make it seem like you did something when you never did anything. Right? Like I said, in the workplace, I mind my business. I kind of just I'm respectful to everybody. I greet everybody, but for the most part, I stay to my business. Like, I just do my job. You know what I'm saying? And so when people like start doing all this and saying blah blah blah, that's rude. There's also defamation of character too, where somebody can like try and ruin your reputation when you did absolutely nothing, completely lie on your name. A lot of people do that with black women. A lot of people do that with black women, right? Black women are not trying to be your friend. Black women are really not even trying to sit at y'all's table. Women just want to be left alone and just want to have peace. They want to be able to take care of their families. They want to be able to, get an education. They want to be able to have equal opportunity. They want to be able to survive, because it is high out here when it comes to the cost of everything. Recession is terrible right now. And it has not gotten any better since the new administration. Has things gotten better? Absolutely not. And it's not going to get better. That's the sad thing. It's not going to get better. People who believe it's going to get better, I don't know, you on drugs. Because it's like the proof could be right in front of you. This dysfunction could be right in front of you, and you still want to believe that something is just going to happen, or that this man is just going to change overnight and just become a good person. I don't know. I don't know. But it's like, if something bad is happening to this country, what's going to happen? Guess who was trying to stop y'all? Guess who is trying to keep this country safe? If anything happens to this country because of this administration, you know who was trying to keep y'all safe. Y'all know who was trying to avoid this mess. It was black women. It was black women who was trying to save y'all. That's all. You can't say it was anybody else. Yes, black men second. Black men second, right? But black women really was trying to save y'all, right? If this country goes to war, black women was trying to keep that from happening. Like, black women really be trying to warn y'all, and black women really try to protect y'all, and it's like it goes over your head. It goes over your head. And it's like, we're really evolving, I feel, and then ICE raids. I just heard in Chicago, there's an ICE raid with black people. Let me tell you something. Black people, we were forced here, right? Black people did not want to come here, right? So if you're trying to detain us, which people are getting deported, but don't detain black people, because if you try and detain black people, you're just going to see that they're citizens. Y'all brought people, y'all brought us here. Y'all brought us here. It was not the other way around. We did not choose to come here because we wanted a better opportunity. We were forced here on during the transatlantic slave trade, forced on boats. That's what happened with us. That's what happened with us. If anything, actually, it might be a little vacation where you send us back to Africa, or send us somewhere in the Caribbean, like Jamaica or somewhere, or Haiti. I don't know. That would probably be a freaking vacation for us at this point. We would probably think it's a vacation, honestly, with everything going on in the United States right now. Genuinely. Yeah, take me to an African country, please. Genuinely. But yes, it's just doesn't make any sense. Like, the mean girl energy is just crazy. Just people wanting to just put us down is just unnecessary. It's literally unnecessary, because we're so unbothered and we just mind our business. And it's like, again, everybody deserves to be treated respectfully. Every race, every gender, every person from any type, LGBTQ, every religion, right? Every culture, every nationality, everybody deserves to be treated with respect, okay? But here's the thing: when people from other races try and come to the black people side, and they're begging black people to fight for them, that's crazy. It's like, talk to your people, right? Talk to your people. The same thing we did during the civil rights movement, y'all do that with y'all's people, right? Take notes, because I feel like when it comes to any sort of civil rights, when it comes to any sort of protesting, black people are the blueprint. Black people are the blueprint for fighting for their rights and fighting for their people. Every single group of people can take notes from the civil rights movement. Just simply open up a book, simply study the leaders. You can even study Gandhi, who's not black. Gandhi. You can study Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You can study all these people. Like, how did they go about their movement, right? And y'all take notes, right? And let me tell you something. It was not just black people who was fighting. Also, Caucasian people fought as well. The allies, right? The allies fought, right? And so, the allies, you can get your allies, which, white people, they have privilege. People are not going to be attacking white people during a protest like they would a black person during protest. They're not. if you have a whole group of black people protesting, no white people at all, then I mean, people gonna be really trying to be violent. People gonna try and attack us. People gonna try and kill us. But if you have a whole group of white people trying to protest, that ain't gonna happen. And so one of the reasons why black people are telling each other we need to rest, we don't need to get involved, because we don't want to get killed. Because we know if we do certain things, we're gonna get killed for it. Where people are going to really be hateful towards us. If other races do those things, it won't be as bad. They won't have that same hatred projected towards them. Right? Black people are trying to save their own lives. They're trying to protect themselves. When they say they don't want to get involved in those protests and all that stuff that they're doing, they're trying to protect themselves. Because it's dangerous being a black person. It's very dangerous, right? Because people just are so triggered by our energy. We don't have to do absolutely anything. Absolutely anything. I remember I got so much hate. When I was a reader, I used to get so much hate. Unnecessary. Unnecessary. I remember when I was a reader, y'all, I used to get so much hate. I mean, it was just crazy. Crazy. And it's not right. And the thing is that clairvoyance and spiritual gifts, I was a gift I was given by God. God gave me that gift, right? Prophecy is something I was given, right? At the time I was navigating myself, right? But it's like, we have to understand, like, we can't be attacking just black people because we don't agree with what they're doing, or because they're different than us, or because they worship in a way that's different than us. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's still hateful. You're still a hypocrite, bigot, literally. But yeah, I used to get so much hate when I was into that, when I was in that community, right? I don't do it anymore, but I just remember all I went through, and it was just so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary, right? And I will never forget that. I'll never forget all the things I went through as a black woman in those spaces, right? And it's like, we have to do better as a community. We have to do better as a community, right? We just have to treat each other better. We have to do like better, right? Because this is not going to work. Things are just going to continue declining and declining and declining. Things are not going to get better, right? Things are going to just get worse, right? So yeah, I'm going to show y'all a few videos, and I have to run, y'all, but I'm going to show y'all a few videos if it will let me. But yeah, like, how do y'all think? Like, it's just ridiculous how, people are just hateful towards black women. And then also, I'm gonna show this video talking about right now how black women have lost their jobs. So many black people have lost their jobs, y'all. So I'm about to play this video.
Black women, I just had to park my car to make this video. I know that over 300,000 black women were recently unemployed over like the last 6 months. That's a crazy number. I don't think that is a mistake. I think that is God working. I quit my job January of 2023. And I haven't worked a job since, and the money been flowing. But the reason I'm making this video is because as I go about my day, run my errands, and live a peaceful life with other people, right? A lot of these service providers, a lot of these people that, work at these, just in general, running into people, they do not like the peace that I have within. They hate to see that I'm not stressed out, rushing. Like, I just picked up my jacket. And I'm not going to show y'all where it's from, because I had got my jacket cleaned and had them touch up. It's my leather jacket. So long story short, I picked it up. He's like, "You ain't working today?" As a stranger to stranger, why the fuck do you think that that's okay or appropriate to ask me? I say, "Dude, does everybody work?" He said, "Well, I work." I said, "You're a man." He said, "Well, my wife doesn't work." I said, "Exactly." Was kind of an insult. That was a insult. That was literally what he said to me. Another time I went to go give my dogs their sorry y'all, I'm losing my breath. I went to take my dogs to get their haircuts. Mind you, their appointment was like 9:30, drop them off, I pick them up around like 12. You know, I'm just chilling, like the day is just going, you know. The lady asks me, mind you, white woman, brunette, okay? She looks at me, she's like, oh, 2 phones, huh? You have a business? What's wrong with y'all? Yes, we're at peace. No, we're not working no jobs. Yes, the men that you see us with are happily taking care of us. Like, you can just tell the friction that I get with people, you can just tell they are not happy to see us rise. They are not. Another example. Took my dogs to the park in my mom's neighborhood. Now, my mom live in a nice neighborhood, okay? Took my dogs to the park in my mom's neighborhood, and the lady goes to say, mind you, this is some random lady that's walking her dog. You know, I'm interacting with her. I talk to her or whatever. And I allow her dog to have some of my dog's gourmet treats, okay? They not cheap either. But she goes to ask me, she say, I think I seen you two before, because I was with my boyfriend. She said, you guys been here before, right? Because I seen you. Don't do that reverse psychology shit on me. Bitch, you never seen me before. White lady, blind. You never seen me before. And you're looking concerned, trying to figure out why the fuck niggas is in your neighborhood. Bitch, we can. Okay, I'm tired of these people. My sisters, keep rising. Keep moving forward. Keep taking over those elite positions. Keep relaxing. Stay peaceful. Enjoy your day. I love you. 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 These hoes are mad. I love you.
Okay, I'm gonna show another video, y'all. Just talking about the black women as well, just with dating. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna show a video about that.
On my way to work so I'm in a gas station on my way to work getting coffee for my grandma, and these 2 black men are in the store conversing about how ignorant black women are and how we get mad that they want to date snow bunnies. And I just want to say, for the last fucking time, as a black woman, and I don't think you guys mind if I speak for all of us, we truly don't give 2 fucks, 2 shits, 2 fucking rusty nickels what you do. The issue is we live in a society where people feel they need to degrade someone else just because they have a difference of opinion. If you want to date white women, do it silently. Why the fuck I gotta be involved in the narrative? The reason you date white women shouldn't be because black women suck. The reason you date white women should be because the person that you're with is interesting. She's pretty, she's funny, she makes you laugh in a way that nobody else ever fucking could. So if you're a white woman and black men are chasing after you, a major red flag is if he's dating you on the premise of how much he hates black women. Run away immediately.
Okay, I'm gonna show 2 more videos and then I'm gonna have to skedaddle.
This comment was in reference to a video I made a couple of days ago where I was talking about the fact that I got into a graduate program. I got a full ride, I have a really prestigious fellowship, and I am really excited about it. And it was just trying to celebrate that. People wonder why black women are angry, why we are so tough. It's because you can't even expect to celebrate an accomplishment, have happiness, without somebody coming in and wanting to ruin it for you.
Okay, last video talking about the workplace.
What is the pet to threat pipeline? Pet to threat is a term coined by Dr. Keisha Thomas to describe the experiences of Black women at work. She says a lot of Black women in modern times go from the pet, the token, look, I love this person, see, I'm not racist, I have a Black worker, until that Black woman is really good at her job. And then she is a threat. Because nothing threatens the system of white supremacy more than seeing a non-white person excel, especially if they're also a woman, because that threatens patriarchy. And then any kind of social mobility threatens classism. So you have all these three major systems being like, suppress the Black woman. So Dr. Keisha Thomas has done a lot of work on this. I see people talk about this pet to threat a lot on here because I think it is something that resonates with a lot of people. However, this theory is specific to the experiences of Black women. I think it's relatable to a lot of people because of the unwritten rules of work, the things that I talk about, that you get to a certain level and you start violating these norms, and that makes them not like you anymore. Particularly the unwritten rule of compliance, which I've talked about a lot on here. But it's different from pet to threat, and what distinguishes pet to threat to me is that the Black woman is used in like a professional fetishization of making the white person feel better about themselves for, oh, look at me, I'm so kind to this Black person. I am such a good boss. Until that person does well, and then it's threat.
So yes, y'all, I could go on and on with this subject, but I gotta go, y'all. Again, I just want to say, for those who tune in or those who are going to watch this video, thank you for continuing to support. I'm building this channel and I'm building this community, y'all. So it is very appreciated when people want to engage in my content or want to share my content or anything like that. But yes, all my social medias are down below, y'all. You can follow me on Instagram, Authentically Lacey. You can follow me on Facebook, which is just under Lacey Jeter. You can just look up Lacey Jeter on Facebook and follow me on there. Lacey at Lacey REL 18 for YouTube, and then for TikTok is at Lacey REL, y'all. So yes, I wish y'all a wonderful rest of y'all's day, and I will be talking to y'all tomorrow. Bye.